Hi, and welcome to today's class of Vedic astrology. So, today we will be understanding about what are the Karakas and what are the indications of planet Ketu. Indications means whether planet Ketu is giving good results or whether planet Ketu is giving not so good results, inauspicious results in an individual's life. So what are the indications of it? What are the indication that a particular person should know in order to come to a particular understanding regarding the effects of planet Ketu that they are receiving in their life. And along with that, what are the karakas of planet Ketu? So, spirituality and moksha, it comes under planet Ketu, or planet Ketu is the karaka of spirituality and moksha. Whenever we talk about or understand about spirituality and moksha, knowledge about the mysteries of the universe. Again, Ketu, it comes under Ketu. Astrology, it also comes under Ketu. Anything long in shape and size, it can be rope, it can be pipes, it can even be the spinal cord of a human's body. All right, so this all of these things comes under Ketu, or Ketu has a role to play in all of these things. That's why we say that if there is problem with the spinal cord, even the spinal cord comes under the bones, and bones, you have to understand the karaka of bones also, sun has a role to play in it, but also, and some other planets also, that we have to understand, that you can easily understand by watching my previous classes. But especially the spinal cord of a human's body, it is believed as per Vedic astrology that it comes under the karaka of planet Ketu. All the sadhus and saints, all the sadhak, sadhus, saints, all of these people, they are said that they are, Ketu has a role to play in all of such kind of people, and in all of these such kind of nature, or all of these such kind of people who carries the nature of a sadhu saint. All right, so Ketu is believed to play a role in all of these. Detachment. So whenever I talk about detachment means from the society, from family life. So here sadhus and saints, especially those sadhus and saints which are detached from family life, from society, they live and they lead their life in isolation. That is the life that they have chosen, and they are extremely spiritual in nature, such kind of people, and they always and definitely like to stay alone because of their sadhanas that they do. So again, such kind of people, they have, or they are detached from society, because you will not be finding such kind of people living in society or living in family life. So all of these kind of people, the entire process of detachment, that is in a spiritual way, if you want to understand that, Ketu has a role to play in it. All right. Separative tendency, again, it is Ketu has a role to play in it. So again, you can say separative tendency, detachment, all of these things, they also go hand in hand. It is not necessary that a person who has a separative tendency will be detached from his or her family life. I'm saying overall Ketu has a role to play in it, but in order to understand specifically that why a particular person is frequently developing a separative tendency, all right, whether always having a tendency to be separated from family matters, from friends, even from office related work. So Ketu has a role to play in it, but again, whenever we understand and talk about separative tendency, Mars also has a role to play in it. So there are a lot of things, because I'm just telling all of these points to have a general understanding in, and definitely whatever I am saying holds true. Because if I talk about again separative detachment, Ketu definitely has a role to play in it. But in order to come to a particular conclusion that whether a particular, why a particular planet is having a separative tendency, that is never good if that particular planet, if that particular person, sorry, has a family. Suppose if a particular person has a family life, has an office life, has is lives in a particular society, has friends, has well wishers, has relatives, and the person usually or frequently develops this separative tendency where he or she wants to stay alone. So that is never good, because for other people who are dependent on such kind of person, if the person is showing separative tendency, separative nature, that will create some kind of chaos, some kind of disturbance in his or her personal life, and also in the life surrounding and concerning that particular person. All right. So in order to, definitely suggest that particular person what he or she needs to do in order to overcome and, you know, remove this separative tendency, which is creating definitely a kind of a upheaval, a kind of a chaos in that individual's life, and also to those people's life who are dependent on that particular individual. A proper and a thorough analysis of that individual's horoscope needs to be done in order to properly conclude that why that particular person is having such kind of separative nature. And separative nature, as I have just touched upon this particular topic, or this particular, this particular aspect, separative tendency doesn't mean that a particular person likes to have his or her free space that every person longs for. All right, every person wants to have for a particular time in a particular day, or for a particular time period, that he or she wants to stay alone, might be in their own home, in their own room, so that he or she uses such kind of space to reflect upon their own self and to reflect upon their day-to-day life. All right, what he or she can do better, and also to relax, calm down, calm their nerves, to revitalize and rejuvenate their mind. That me space, that personal space is always required. And what I surely feel that such kind of me space should always be honored and should always be respected. Everybody needs that me space, needs that personal space, and interference in that particular space should not be done. All right. But separative tendency is not about the me space. It takes the me space to a whole new level. All right. So then it is a problem. Then it becomes an issue, and then it needs to be solved. A particular person needs to be counseled. A particular person needs to be told in a very proper, in a very practical, and in a very helpful way that separative tendency doesn't work if you are leading a normal family life. All right. And especially for people who are very spiritual in nature, they have already chosen that particular life by choice, and the circumstance that they are in, for them being separate from society, being separate from people, it helps them in their spiritual path. All right, because their vision towards their life, their connection with the spiritual world is on another level. And for that, again, Ketu definitely plays a role in that, but that is again a separate thing. And whenever I'm talking about issues being created because of such kind of nature, it basically, again, I'm repeating the same thing. It talks about people who are already in a particular culture, in a particular life, where other people are very much dependent on them, and they cannot say like, no, I'm now detaching myself from everything. I'm being separated from all of these things at least for 1 or 2 months, then I'll come back. So in a society, such kind of mentality mindset doesn't work most of the times. If in case everybody, if you need a particular space, suppose for 1 month, for even some, you can go on holidays, that's a very common and a very normal thing. I'm not talking about that going on a holidays you are saying you have a separate tendency. No. But if you all of a sudden leave your work, if you all of a sudden leave your family without any kind of mutual consent, then we say that there is a kind of an issue. But when a particular person goes on a vacation, even individually, solo, and just so that that particular person can be with himself and herself, might be for 1 month or 2 months, if it happens from mutual consent, everybody agrees to, yes, you need that time, my friend, you need that particular space, go and have fun, go and enjoy yourself for 1 or 2 months, or even more if you need that. Again, it's basically, if it is as per mutual consent, if permission is there from those people who are dependent on them, so then it is a very fine thing, and it's a very rejuvenating and revitalizing thing. It definitely doesn't happen for 2 or 3 months usually, but it happens also. But again, that should not be confused with separative tendencies. So I just wanted to take some time out to discuss, so that whoever you are watching this particular video, you understand how Ketu is an indicator to certain aspects or to certain characteristics. All right, so you need to have a proper understanding. If you are reading, if you're listening to me, if you're seeing me use the word separative, you have to understand, I am making sure that you properly understand in the best way that in what particular ways I'm using the phrase, the word separative, detachment. Divisions in society based on caste. It is believed as per Vedic astrology that Ketu, it comes under Ketu. Also, Ketu has a very, very important role to play in achieving tremendous amount of success. Rahu is like visioning it, desiring it in a way, right? But again, achieving also, if you want to achieve it, then you have to have the desire to achieve it, right? But ultimately, if you're achieving it or not, or you're achieving it and you're placing you're planting your flag on the ground, saying it to the world, how will you say, like announcing it to the world that you have arrived, you have achieved this particular thing. So achieving again tremendous amount of success, and in a very monumental level, in a very paramount level, then Ketu is believed to play a role in it. Obviously, a very yoga karaka and a very auspicious Ketu, because it is seen that, I'm not talking about a normal day-to-day success. I'm talking about success which are of tremendous heights, which are extremely appreciated. And Ketu again definitely has a role to play in this particular factor, in this particular point. And also the northeast direction of your house, it is associated with the planet Ketu. So again, if you want to improve, if you want to increase the auspiciousness of the planet Ketu in your life, if you want to improve the effects of planet Ketu that you are currently receiving in your life, chanting the beach mantra for planet Ketu is always and always auspicious in nature. So you are 110% definitely recommended that you can chant the beach mantra of planet Ketu. If you feel that there are any such kind of problems related to planet Ketu that is occurring in your life, or whatever good things that you are supposed to receive from a yoga karka Ketu, you're not receiving it because it might be for a lot of reasons. All right. So this was all about the planet Ketu, and I have now covered this particular topic for all the 9 planets, the karakas and the indications of planets. For all the 9 planets, I have covered in all of the latest classes. And I hope again that's it for this particular topic. And again, I am strongly recommending you to watch all of my previous classes and in detail. Vedic astrology is such an important, it's such a useful, and it is such a beautiful topic, a beautiful science, a beautiful pool of information that enables a person to transform his or her life towards the better. And this is such a that's why we say, that's why I normally, and I 110% believe, and I usually completely frequently say it, that Vedic astrology, if properly understood and then properly used, can transform your life towards the better. There is no doubt in it, there is no question in it. However, difficulties you are facing in your current life, all right, difficulties everyone faces in their own life, but I believe many of us, many of them, they definitely use some kind of Vedic astrological remedies to improve the aspects of their life, especially those aspects that are currently, or that is currently bothering them. All right, so that is the reason why Vedic astrology can be understood, needs to be understood by each and every people. There is no restriction towards the learning of Vedic astrology. It just needs to be learned with an open mind, with a pure heart, and with a belief that yes, Vedic astrology will definitely help me to get my life better, will definitely help me to redirect me towards the best direction that is there for my life. Vedic astrology, as I have said, it is definitely, its foundation is definitely mathematical. It is a complete skill based subject, but again, it is completely related to spirituality. And whenever there is this particular aspect, and wherever there is this particular subject and talk about spirituality, the belief is where the belief comes, the belief of that particular person. Here now it plays a huge role, because see, whatever, if you don't believe Vedic astrology, even if you are studying it, you will not be able to utilize it, because at some point or the other you will feel that whatever you are reading, whatever you are learning is not practical. So this is where you have to believe it. Whatever I am teaching you in all of my classes, and believe me, I am giving my 100% effort to share, to teach, to discuss all of the important points of Vedic astrology that an individual needs to know in order to transform his or her life, or even other people's life. So I am completely sharing all of the information without any lapse. All right. The only thing that is required is you have to believe what I say, and just believe it. Have an open mind, have a pure heart, have a proper belief, and then you see the difference that you can have in your life. All right, and for that you have to implement it. So whatever, suppose you are learning, you have to implement that in your own life. Your learnings should not be limited to only notebook practice. You have to implement whatever you are learning, whatever you are understanding, whatever skills and science that you are inculcating about Vedic astrology. You have to implement that into practice. And the only way you can do it is you have to start interpreting and analyzing horoscopes. All right, then only you will be able to transform all of these learnings that you are gathering from my Vedic astrology classes into real life scenarios. Then only you will be able to understand, yes, 100% positive difference is seen, or will happen if a particular person properly utilizes all of these concepts. All right. So you have to watch all of my classes. If in case you feel that there are certain points you are not able to grab for a particular class, you have to keep on watching the classes over and over again till the time you're 100% confident that yes, now I have understood about this particular topic and in detail. That is just the way I am making you understand. In the same way you have understood it. All right. Then you, and also your understanding and your practice, initial practice should go side by side. That is the reason whatever class I am taking or I had taken or I will be taking in the upcoming days are all practical. So that is why I use examples to illustrate the knowledge, the information, the content that I am teaching, so that you will understand all of whatever classes that is shared in this particular Vedic astrology course. You will understand it in a practical way and you will use that particular knowledge. You will be able to use that particular knowledge into interpreting, analyzing horoscopes. That is where the usefulness of your learning will come. So I believe that's it. Whatever I wanted to talk about in today's class, I have completely talked about it. And uh, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, like my videos, share my videos. And if you have any doubts, any queries, any questions related to the topic of Vedic astrology, that is whichever what I am conducting, what I am sharing in my YouTube channel, then please share those in the comment section. That is your doubts, your queries, your questions. And I will definitely try to answer them. All right. So I will see you in the next class.